Hey there, it's Lenny McGill with GlockStore Performance and Custom Shop. We got a special guest here in our Nashville studio today. It's CJ Garton.
Man, pleasure, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. And you know, it's funny, you actually lived like 2 miles away.
I do. It's amazing when you have such an amazing facility and everything you guys here. I'm a fan of shooting guns. Grew up on a ranch, and it's right around the corner. So.
Well, of course, Nashville is known as Music City, and you're a musician,
yes,
hence
sir.
the guitar, hence the album. And this is his album, CJ Garton, and Tales of the Old West, I guess it is.
Yes,
right?
it's Tales of the Old West and Other Libations to Please the Palate. I used to find old bottles that were like old, I guess, the remedies for everything back in the day. And they had always really fancy verbiage on it to make it sound like this is going to save your life. This is going to heal anything, cure anything that
So this album is going to save your life.
Yeah, it very well could.
Well, so now, first of all, it's an album, and that's old school. And, of course, albums are, I believe, making a comeback.
Oh, yeah, they're huge. They're huge. When I started doing this, I've been wanting to do it since I was a kid. When I started making this project in theory in my head, had it decorated in 2016, I finally put it to action with Joe Spivey, my partner, who's a legend in the business. And we actually started making this around 2019. We didn't, then 2020 hit, and so we spent the entire year figuring out how to get this made. And vinyl wasn't blowing up at the time.
Right.
And then just this last year, vinyl's gone nuts.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of news articles about it, and it's actually this album cover is one of the things that is actually pretty neat about albums is the artwork. Yeah, they're collectible. Yeah, this one's pretty cool too. So,
and it's all American made. Everything that you see here is all made right down the street. Vinyl Labs, who actually press the vinyls, is the lab company. Scotland Masters, they opened it up during 2020.
Here in Nashville?
Yeah, I was one of their first clients.
Oh, how about that?
So they got to do a lot of learning through me, because I also came with these crazy grandeur ideas of things you normally don't do in vinyl.
Right.
And they had to learn a lot from that. And so we learned, actually both of us learned quite a bit in the process.
Well, this is a double album set, it looks like. Right?
Yeah, double vinyl. If you open this thing, it's resealable. Can I open it?
Sure,
yeah, absolutely. Check this out. So the front is called a lenticular. OptiPrint and Fulfillment out of Dallas, Texas made that for us. And one of the guys actually used to play in Garth Brooks' band. He's actually out with Pat Green right now.
Okay.
And Scott U.S.A, Death Before Pop Country, did the artwork for us. I did all the title work design, and on the back, the Cherokee Nation Tribes of Oklahoma did this from English and translated it into Cherokee.
That's pretty cool.
I love it.
That is really cool.
Everybody that was a part of making the record during the 2020, we all know what happened, so we weren't able to tour as artists. So anybody that donated through us playing, gave tips, donations, we kept record of that, and I put their names at the bottom to show our gratitude, because it takes a village to make this thing, not just one person.
Yeah, there's a lot of work goes in. And what's really interesting is you have the English name of the song, the Cherokee name of the song.
Yes, sir.
And then the English pronunciation, basically, of the Cherokee word.
Yeah, exactly. Just like I say, a devil here, and this is Cherokee, the way it'd be written in Cherokee, but then you can also, if you speak English and say Sadani, that's the way speaking Cherokee and saying devil, which is really cool.
That's really cool.
And then I wanted to put buffalo skeletons to, finish out the skeleton, crew style of it, but also to show the heritage, how important it was for the skeletons of the buffalo and the history of the buffalo for the American Indian and the American cowboy. Without them, we probably wouldn't be able to do everything we did and survive out there. It's a harsh climate. And so when you open this up, we made it where it's resealable. I'm gonna slide this guitar over here. And when you, the reason why I want to do this is because in the 60s, they used to have this where you open it up and you can close it to protect your record.
I remember. I was there.
And so instead of doing the plastic wrap stuff where you shrink wrap, where you just open up, throw it away, one, that's a waste, and two, this doesn't give opportunity. When I was in 5th grade, I went to Woolly Rock Museum, and they were having a powwow at my school. It was a school trip. And I got this, and it's the Cherokee alphabet. I paid $1 for it. And whenever I got that, I thought it'd be kind of like, almost like a decipher, so you can look at this and see what's going on in the back of it, front and back. But then when you open this up, it translates and shows the entire cowboy and Indian, which is on the front. After that, you open it up and you can go further. Like, there's a lot more into this. You open this up, and on the center here, I learned that I had to put these on my hand because gold interacts with nickel, and the nickel is the pressing plant, so it was blowing these out. So I had to do this 4,000 times because I made 1,000 of them, and put these on by hand, and that's real 24 karat gold foil.
Oh, that's amazing. Well,
it's embossed.
Yeah.
So I can already say my record's gone gold.
This is kind of one of the old school albums. I remember this. Pretty thick. It's not,
it's 180 grain. We wanted to do really heady. We went all out. I wanted to outdo Jack White as a cowboy newcomer. You know, I wanted people, if I'm going to come out and start my own record label, because I was on 3 record labels before I dropped off and started G-Bar Records, which is named after our cattle ranch.
Right.
I wanted to have some substance, and without having a product that really catches people's attention, then how is I going to be able to rise above?
Sure.
And so I wanted to make this, and people go, wow, what's that? And then they can go, wow, who's that?
That's actually very cool. Now, let's talk about you, the Who, but in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely.
You are from Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Hence the Cherokee
Briscoe
roots and all that. And so that's pretty cool. So tell us a little bit about how you got to Nashville. And, you know, of course, you're a musician. Of course, that's where people come from all over the world to be in Nashville. But, you know, you're actually a real cowboy in a sense. I mean, you know, right?
Yeah, actually, and there's a whole other story about that. I moved here out of the Navy. Right after I got out of the Navy, the first month I moved here, and I bought a school bus. And my grandpa used to go down the auction, the tractor supply auction, and he had bought a school bus. And so I paid him $800, and I tore the back half of the seats out, and then I put like a little living quarters back there.
Oh, okay.
And I moved here in a school bus.
Cool.
And,
that's fun.
And then the school bus, I lost the school bus. It disappeared. I think it got stolen when we was playing, and we had it parked because we couldn't take it on the road with us. And then I just never really went and looked for it. So someone has a school bus out there.
Hey, we want it back, okay?
yeah. Where's my school bus at? It's probably downtown.
I got to interrupt you because this is an interesting looking album too. I mean, I've seen different colors, but I've never seen something like this.
Well, it glows in the dark.
Oh, does it really?
Yeah, it does. And if you take that outside, it absorbs because it's phosphorescence, and it absorbs the sunlight. And what I wanted to do is I wanted this to be a turquoise color to represent the earth. And then the sky and the water I wanted to be represented, so when it glows brilliant blue and changes color to represent the sky and the water.
This thing is heavy enough to be a Frisbee.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, yeah. You can drop an elk with one of these.
So you grew up in Oklahoma, and you were in the Navy.
Yes, sir.
So you grew up in Oklahoma, just normal. Well, of course, you're on 6,200 acres. You said, right?
Yeah. We grew up on a cattle ranch in Oklahoma. It's 6 generations. We started during the Oklahoma Land Run.
Okay.
And we came in on wagon trains back in the day. I didn't personally, but family members had a lot of trials and tribulations. So I learned about a lot of history. And our song, The Gun, and our song, our song's 1883 and stuff, like the show Yellowstone, 1883, was a song I wrote originally in 2009. That they were inspired by to, I guess, write the thing. They reached out in 2019 and like really dug the song. And lo and behold, Yellowstone has now brought back country and really introduced a lot of opportunities.
How interesting.
But whenever I started my label, before I even started building this, I was concerned because it had been pop country. There's been a lot of transition. People were telling me, that what we were doing was outdated, but I just felt like it was country, it was roots. Mm-hmm. It told songs and stories. So I took my 13-year-old son and I rode 700 miles from 2 miles down the street here to our cattle ranch in July of 2019. And rode 686 miles on 2 horses I trained, Poncho and Lefty. And so we actually, rode horses all across 4 states without any help, without anything other than our saddlebags and our stuff. So then we came back and made this, but I wanted it all to tie in. I wanted people to see that we weren't just singing songs, but we were putting effort to bring songs back. And that means
the songs, like you said, it's a storytelling situation. The songs actually have a meaning. They have a purpose. And so you wrote a song called The Gun.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about that. Obviously, we're in the gun business, and that's one of the things we're interested in. Is it's kind of a story about the gun's perspective of I'm just sitting here. Whoever uses it, right?
Well, and it's funny too because all these stories I know have a tendency to run on about certain things because it starts as a seed, then it turns into a tree, then you got millions of branches, and it all comes from basically just the idea. And that's what the gun was. It was just an idea. I spoke to you earlier about how, people weren't addressing gun issues, and I thought it'd be nice to really give a platform where the gun was speaking and let people then have an educated decision on actually listening to the facts and just saying, okay, cool, I get that.
Well, speaking of the gun, we shot guns earlier.
We did.
It was a lot of fun. So check this out, and you'll get to hear a little piece of the music, The Gun.
A lot of stories about me. Some are good, some are bad. I fought in 3 wars, I've even made it back. I put food on the table through the harsh winter cold. I've even helped a miner protect his hard-earned gold. I've been and hanging over warm lit fires. I've been abandoned, left out in the cold. Yes, I have killed for money and desire. I've been bought, stolen, and sold. If a soldier ever falls behind, I'm left crying out 21 times. Though I'm to blame, Lord, I hate the one.
All right, so now you're setting to go on tour and all that. How do our viewers get a hold of your music? Listen to the gun. Get their own copies.
Absolutely. The best way is to look up CJ Garton, Garton. Also, if you want to look up Way Jennings, who has a gun out right now, it's Whey Jennings, like Waylon Jennings. But really, just give it a Google. CJ Garton. I always say it's like Dolly Parton, except with a big old G instead.
And no wigs. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah, with nothing up front.
All right. Well, and so last thing I want to talk about is you got this guitar sitting here, which is it actually has the name of your band or your ranch here is the G Bar Ranch.
Yes,
right?
Yes, it is.
So this is pretty awesome. It's obviously a custom guitar.
It is. It's custom made, and it was a group effort. Hate Guitars out of Scottsdale, Arizona, and they've been in the Arizona region for a lot of years. They came and sponsored me. The first few days I moved here, I stumbled into what was a NAMM show private party. So I went to the NAMM show, met these guys, and then like the first week I had like 7 sponsors.
Oh, how about that?
And so I was very lucky, and very fortunate to be, God put me in the right place, I'd say. And so they made this guitar. It's got elk hide inlay. It was custom. I wanted to do like a gut string, but play it like a steel string. So we did this Cowboy Classical, and then Garton Originals, which is descendants of our family, and the ones that the wagon trains broke down in West Virginia that didn't make it to the Missouris and Oklahoma, own a woodworking company. And so they shipped this off, and they did all the woodwork on it and put our state bird, the scissor-tail flycatcher, on there, put my name on it, even spelt it right. I was all proud of it, Usually when I show up to a marquee, it's Garton with an E sometimes.
And then look at all this engraving work. That's pretty phenomenal.
Yeah, and actually every piece of this is something that actually means something. It's not just to look cool. This is the Bob White quill. This is our cattle we have on the ranch. Cowboy hat, because we're all buried with cowboy hat when we're born. My grandpa always gets a pair of cowboy hat boots. Who's still kicking with us right now. You got your cattails, and then you got your scissor-tail flycatcher, the state bird, with our Oklahoma symbol with the G-Bar Ranch located at where it's actually located.
In Oklahoma itself, right in the middle.
Yeah, and then you have your honeysuckle rose and your honeysuckle, because I loved honeysuckle growing up as a kid. And then you got your blackberry vines, because we have gigantic blackberry bushes in the middle of the ranch that we mow around. Yeah. So every year in July we go pick blackberries like nobody's business.
Get them before the birds do.
Yeah, and then also I've always been a big time whitetail hunter, and our ranch has a lot of white oak and black oak, and the oak trees are not really top, big trees. They're just big, wide, round things. They don't get really high. So after about 20 feet, they kind of just cut off.
Well, they don't have the water that we do here. Yeah,
exactly.
So they grow that way,
So hence the reason why you have the oak leaves and the acorns and stuff like that, because it's such a beautiful piece of country, but it was a harsh area to inhabit back in the day.
Well, if you didn't have electricity and water, it'd still be a harsh place to live.
Yeah, yes, sir. It should be. It should.
Whereas Nashville, of course, is the kind of the mother of the world here. We've got water, we've got the climate, a good climate. The soil is super lush, and this is a great place to live. So, what do you think about Nashville? You're here to stay, right?
I love it. Yeah, I've been here 15 years. Like I said, I moved out of here. I made it a point to be here. I split my time on the ranch in Oklahoma and here, and the rest of the time out on the road. I love traveling. I love areas. I love hunting, fishing. But, for me, I called Oklahoma. I never thought it was brown. They're like, oh, isn't it brown and windy there? But when you grow up in an environment, you don't, I guess, recognize that.
Yeah.
Then I come back after being gone, and I'm like, man, it's windy. man, it's brown.
Yeah. And it is the music capital of the world, and you are a musician. Thank you for coming.
Man, thank you,
What a
brother.
pleasure to get to know you.
Yes, sir.
Fascinating story, and love what you're doing.
Oh, well, thank you so much. And thank you guys out there again, CJ Garton, Garton.
Just Google and you'll find streaming and all kinds of other stuff. And
it's all over. And this double vinyl is out on streaming and will be re-released here soon. We even have a limited run of these we're going to redistribute and be able to pick up on our website here soon.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So, I see you have a numbered, this one's numbered somewhere.
Yeah, 425, right?
Number 425.
And we only did 1,000 of them.
Okay.
And so the first 500 went out like this. I kept about 75 to 100 of those so I can distribute them while I'm on the road right now.
Sure, yeah.
And the second 500 is coming to you guys. And then we might even have a little sneak peek of an alternative art version of this that's going to be limited. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Thank you guys. I'm at the GlockStore in Nashville, Tennessee. If y'all need to come down and see it, it's right down the road.
And thank you for watching. I'm Lenny McGill. That's CJ Garton. We'll see you next time.
Cheers.